Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the match between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid for the Copa del Rey semi-final. It is going to be Barcelona and Atletico Madrid, and the first game is going to be at home. The second game is going to be away, and then on the other side, we do have Real Madrid versus Real Sociedad. So very interesting, I would say, couple of games. And I do think that everything does point towards El Clasico final. And I don't want to sound too, I would say, overconfident or trying to sound too cocky, but Hansi Flick is a master when it comes to knockout rounds. And I know that Barcelona are going to get the job done. And then you do have Real Madrid, knowing the refs that they're going to have and all of the payments are going to be going through. Madrid most likely will be going to the final through a very rigged call. So I would say that I am very happy with this, right? Because I do think that it would be much more complicated to face Atletico Madrid in the final compared to Real Madrid. I also do want to reference that we're also going to be speaking about Lewandowski and his future, because it does seem like Lewandowski is going to be with us for another year. And what does that mean for just the long-term future of FC Barcelona? And then lastly, we're going to be talking about Barcelona showing interest in Isaac and Luis Diaz. A conversation that we have had multiple times, but I am so willing and I am so ready to shut this whole operation down in this video, because I do have a lot of things to say in regards to my opinion about those two players. So now let's go back to where we were at before. Yes, so Barcelona will be facing Atletico Madrid in the semifinals of the Copa del Rey, and the first leg is going to be played on February 25th at home. So in about, I would say, 13 days from right now, or 12 days from right now, we're going to be having the semifinal match. And the second leg is going to be on April 2nd. So a whole other, I would say, a month and 5 days later, we're going to be playing the second leg. I don't know why it's so, I would say, open. What the hell? You want to have the first leg and second leg, get played within a span of 2 weeks at the very maximum. But this is going to be a month and 5 to 8 days. So it's a huge margin of space. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, the Champions League matches, it does require you to play more matches. And so maybe the Copa del Rey were okay, we were trying to play it on the month of March. We wanted to have our semifinal matches, but because in the month of March, there is going to be Champions League matches, we're just going to push it to April. So it's going to be basically taken at the same time of the semifinals of the Champions League, assuming that if Barcelona make it, okay? Assuming, right? The second leg, April 2nd. Usually the semifinal matches get played in April. So a very few busy months ahead. So knowing that we're going to be facing Atletico Madrid, I want to say a few things. Atletico Madrid's defense is very sturdy, I would say. It's not, I would say, one of the best defenses in La Liga, but it is still a very strong defensive team. Atletico Madrid were always really good at not conceding goals, but now they're starting to find that balance where they can find a lot of goal scoring opportunities. Hence the reason why they have players like Antoine Griezmann, Julian Alvarez. Atletico Madrid is no longer that team that you would say, okay, this is a team that's just going to defend and sit back and that's it. No, Atletico Madrid know how to win games. So in the past recent matches that we have played against Atletico Madrid, we lost in our previous meeting on December 21st, 2024. We lost 2-1 at our home. Atletico Madrid scored with DePaul and Sorlath on the last minute, and Pedri scored on the 30th minute. I hated that game. I just hated it, because that was supposed to be a game where we were supposed to win. We usually win against Atletico Madrid at our home stadium, but unfortunately we got a loss. And we had Fermin Lopez on the left wing position, Gavi as the central attacking midfielder, Rafinha on the right wing, Lewandowski up top, with our double pivot being Pedri and Casado. So it was not our strongest starting 11 at that time. We had Dani Olmo come in on the 64th minute, Ferran also coming in, Eric Garcia coming in on the 80th minute, and around that time we also had a couple of injuries. Hence the reason why Barcelona did not have their best game against Atletico Madrid. We did not have Lamine Jamal. Obviously, we did not have Marc Bernal either. Christensen was not there yet. And then we had Hector Fort also out, and Ter Stegen also out, obviously, right? Because they're out for the rest of the season. We also have to keep in mind that Gavi just returned from injury, and he even came out with an assist in this match, right? Gavi provided the assist to Pedri, and it was just beautiful, beautiful. But I do think that with Barcelona having a much more informed Gavi, a Pedri that does seem much more of a goal scorer and a assist type of player. A Pedri that's really on form. And with Lamine Yamal also coming back for our next meeting, rest assured that Barcelona will get the job done. Rafinha is going to go back to the left, Lamine Yamal on the right side, because Rafinha played on the right side in this game with Fermin Lopez on the left. So it was not the best attacking lineup that we could have placed. Unfortunately, all of this happened at the worst moments. Also, I would say that for sure, going into this game, that's going to take place on, again, February 25th, so in about 12 days, I know for a fact that Diego Simeone is going to want to use Julian Alvarez as their ultimate weapon to press our defensive line. Most importantly, he's going to want Julian Alvarez to press Ronald Araujo, right? Ronald Araujo, out of all center backs that we do have, is the one that does get nervous on the ball. We have seen Araujo make multiple mistakes on the ball. Many times, right? Many times. And Kubarsi is great on the ball. He does not feel the pressure. Inigo Martinez, same thing. He does not feel the pressure. We can even go to, let's just say, Jules Koundé when he has the ball. He does not feel the pressure. Christensen, when we used to see him back in the defensive line about a year ago, he did not feel any pressure on the ball. A great ball distributor, right? He never made any mistakes. But with Araujo, he does tend to make mistakes. And that is something that Luis Enrique did with PSG last season in that semifinal match of the second leg, where Araujo unfortunately committed a foul. So he also made that misplaced pass, and it was just not a good thing to see. So most likely Diego Simeone is going to be looking at that and saying, okay, if Araujo starts on the right center back position, I need Julian Alvarez to pressure the hell out of Araujo and force the mistakes, because that's where they could really get us. Julian Alvarez, we all know he is a aggressive ball winning machine and a great presser. So I'm very nervous about that duel there. We'll see, because maybe Hansi Flick might say, okay, I do appreciate Araujo. He's a great player, but for this game specifically, I need Inigo Martinez and Kubarsi, the center back duo that's had a tremendous spell so far. So we'll see. Once we do get closer, we'll see who's available and who's not. Hopefully everybody's available, and we'll go more into depth on this match between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. Okay, so I do want to speak about Lewandowski, because Roger Torreo came out with a huge report, and this is what he said. There's already a closed agreement between Lewandowski and Barcelona for the striker to stay for one more season. The club believes Lewandowski has earned his continuity. And then he said, it was never in doubt that he will be extended in the upcoming weeks. Part of the current agreement. There was already the green light from both parties. And so I do think that this comes by no surprise. Lewandowski has improved on his numbers compared to the previous season. If we look at his numbers, we can see that there is an improvement. And he has 33 matches played this season with 31 goals and 3 assists. Last season, he played 49 matches and only scored 26 goals and 9 assists. So he has already beaten his goal record from last season by a total of 5 goals, and the season is not over. So with Lewandowski also contributing as a leader to the other players, his Spanish is also getting better according to what he said during the interview that he had. It does make sense for us to continue with Lewandowski, and I also don't necessarily believe that he's going to be a captain next season for us. I think that he's not going to take no captain armband at all, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. Because when we speak about this trinity of Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, and Lewandowski, they have done a phenomenal job. But I do think that there needs to be some reinforcement in this front three that Hansi Flick has created, which is going to be something that we're going to be talking about in a couple of minutes. Because with Lamine Yamal, we do need a great backup right winger. I hope that it's Tony Fernandes. And then on the other side of, which is Rafinha, I do think that there needs to be another left winger. A left winger that has a lot of dribbling in him on the ball. Somebody who can take on players. Musiala. But yeah, Lewandowski, I think that he has a great backup. I think that Ferran is doing really good. So I'm very happy with Ferran Torres. But overall, Lewandowski has shown that he can be a leader, a goal scorer, somebody who can be very reliant. Do I think that Barcelona can improve on top of Lewandowski? Can we find another player that is better than Lewandowski? Of course we can. But if there's not a lot of striker options for the summer of 2025, I don't mind keeping Lewandowski for just one more season. So far, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha together, which is in a span of 36 games, they have scored 98 goals and provided 32 assists. Really good. To put that into perspective, if we look at the MSN after 36 games, the first 36 games together, they scored 100 goals and provided 32 assists. So let me repeat that again in case you guys didn't understand it at first. Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha in their first 36 games together, which was this season, 98 goals and 32 assists. MSN in the first 36 games, 100 goals and 32 assists. And so if Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha scored only, let's just say, 2 more goals, they would have tied the MSN in the first 36 games together. That is insane. Or if they scored 3 more goals, they would have beaten MSN's record. It goes to show just how effective Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, and Rafinha have been for us this season. Hansi Flick has really made this team a monster. And we're talking about, like, comparing a front three that does not have Lionel Messi, nor at that time the best striker in the world, Luis Suarez. It's crazy. There's a reason why Barcelona are on top of the world today, and why so many people are saying that Barcelona are going to do great things this season. And the reason why Pep Guardiola has said that we have seen one of the best versions of Barcelona ever. So I'm very excited. And recently, Lewandowski also had an interview, and this is what he said. Every game, I understand Rafinha better too. He used to pass the ball with too much power, and I told him to play lighter, but precise. Now in my 3rd season, our understanding has improved. Age is just a number. I don't mind my age. At almost 37, I can show things that a lot of people wouldn't expect. I'm proud of that. I know good times are coming for the club. When I arrived, I was aware of the challenges. The work the president and his board have done to overcome the crisis is impressive. The club was on the verge of collapse a few years ago, and I admire what they have achieved. And so this is Lewandowski saying, you know, I did not click with my teammates at first, like, for example, Rafinha, because sometimes Rafinha was making a pass that was too hard, too fast. Lewandowski could not meet that. And so there was like some miscommunications here and there. Maybe he did have some sort of struggles with Lamine Yamal. Like, for example, maybe when Lamine Yamal was going central into the midfield, after receiving the ball from the right flank, he could have made a key pass to Lewandowski. Lewandowski was asking for the ball, but he decided to shoot. And Lewandowski sometimes does not like that. But Lewandowski is referencing that as time went by, he was able to understand players like Rafinha or in some cases Lamine Yamal. And so hence the reason why this season they're really clicking. And he's also saying that, you know, he has more in the tank, right? Age is just a number. At almost 37 years old, he still wants to show a lot. So look, bro, like, you're not trash. You are world class. I've always said that yes, there is a couple of options out there in Europe that we could sign to reinforce our center forward position. But if you're gonna be decent, right, an 8 out of 10, 7 out of 10, that's fine. I would not mind your contract extension. I would really be happy, as a matter of fact. I know that he does take a lot of wages. Like, I think he earns around 30 million euros a season, but I think that is worth it. Right, because not only are we just, again, counting his goals and assists and what he does on the pitch, but he's also a leader. So I'm very happy with this whole situation, and I hope that he does stay with us after this season. So now moving on towards the last conversation. And this is what Tony Juan Morty had to say. Barcelona have shown interest in Isaac. They even made contact with his camp and confirmed that would be open to the move. The only issue is the asking price, which is more than 100 million euros. Okay. Then he continues, another player who Barcelona is following for the summer is Luis Diaz. He would be delighted to come. It is a less difficult option to sign than Isaac, who would, however, be the club's ideal choice. In fact, Deco made the first move for Isaac at the end of 2024, but nothing more or serious happened at that time. So, look, bro, I am so not interested in signing Isaac nor Luis Diaz. I say that because when we speak about Luis Diaz, he just reminds me of another Rafinha. I do think that Luis Diaz has better, I would say, more ball control and whatever, but, you know, he's 28, and I kind of just want more of a generational player, a player that can give us 10 years. And with Isaac, I also think that he's just, like, he's good. Like, he's really good, but it's just, bro, like, we're not going to spend 100 million euros on a player like Isaac when we have somebody when we don't even have the answers to Vitor Roque. Ferran Torres is doing well, and Lewandowski is going to be with us for another season. I don't want us to pay 100 million euros this summer for someone like Isaac. Like, okay, he's good. I know that he's good, but no, it's not. It's just not worth it. I think that we're going to be fine in that area, especially if you tell me that we have to spend 100 million euros on Isaac. I'm good. Newcastle made it so hard in general, they make it so hard to, like, let go of players. Like, whoever ends up going to Newcastle are going to find it a very hard time to get out, because they put, like, big ass price tags on these players. Like, bro, it's not worth it. So Isaac, 100 million euros, most likely. And I don't want Barcelona to pay for that. Luis Diaz is going to be costing around 80 to 85 million euros. No, thank you. I'm good. We have Rafinha. We need somebody with a different profile. I've heard rumors about Sesko. I mean, like, again, decent player, very decent player, but he costs 50 million euros. I'm okay. And the thing is that, like, we should not settle for decent, okay? Like, Deco said something earlier. It was yesterday, and he stated that, like, you know, we don't need to sign 4 to 5 players in this upcoming transfer window or something like that, because with the amount of players that are coming through La Masia, and especially recently, we're no longer having those type of plans. So Barcelona is no longer going to be a club where they say, okay, we need to find a left winger, a right back, a center forward, or a forward. They're not like that anymore. They realize that La Masia is blossoming so much talent. Hence the reason why we're not looking for a left winger no more, because we have Jared Martin. Hector Fort can also play there. Bro, like, we wanted a DM a year and a half ago. We were talking about Guido Rodriguez or like whoever, some guy from Spain, Merino, I think that was his name. But out of nowhere, Casado and Bernal came. So now we're okay with that. And then when we speak about the right wing position, we said, okay, Dembele and Bernardo Silva to reinforce the right wing position. We said that 2 years ago. But now we have Lamine Yamal, Tony Fernandez is coming up. You see what I mean? So, like, it's just not worth it. Now, this is where I want to bring in my opinion, and you guys can log off, whatever, because you guys like to talk a lot of shit about my own personal opinions, but whatever. Whatever, bro. If we're going to be a club that is not going to sign 4 to 5 players no more, we're just going to be saying, okay, La Masia covers like 99% of the squad and this and that, but we need to reinforce maybe this one position, just one. That's good, because then we can put all of our eggs in that basket and really go for a big time player, not a decent, solid, okay player or average player. No, big time generational talent. The one position that I do think needs reinforcement is the left wing position. And god damn it, bro, I'm telling you, I'm gonna start this campaign. Maybe make a cult. No, I'm joking. But Musiala is the answer. It is the answer. And if you think about it, Isaac is gonna cost 100 million euros, bro. If we like that is the same price tag of Musiala for the summer if he does not extend. Now, before you say anything and say, no, Kevin, Musiala is about to extend with Bayern, just wait, I'm not done. Luis Diaz, 85 million euros. If we spend 10 to 50 million euros more, we get Musiala. The hell? And so, like, Musiala is so worth it. So now let's talk about Musiala's situation with Bayern. Musiala's contract is going to end in the summer of 2026. If he does not renew and we go to the summer of 2025, he's going to be costing pretty cheap for his level. I'm not saying that's going to be cheap overall, no, but it's going to be a deal because he's going to be having 1 year left in his contract. And what's important about that is that Bayern would be forced to negotiate a price tag for Musiala with a different club if Musiala does not want to renew, because they don't want to let him go for free in the summer of 2026. Okay, which means that the buying club is going to have leverage. Barcelona, if they enter the race, they will have leverage. They will say, oh, you know, your player does not want to extend and he's going to leave for free if you don't do anything or accept our bid next summer of which is 2026. So you might as well just accept our bid of 75 to 85 million euros, or you're just going to let him go for free, right? So that's what I mean by the leverage. Barcelona need to enter the race because they're going to get their leverage if Musiala does not renew. Okay, now here's going to be the other conversation. I know that there has been reports about Musiala getting very close to extending with Bayern. I know that. But do you guys realize that in the contract that he's going to be signing is going to retain a release clause that is going to allow him to leave to any club that he does want to leave for? Like for example, the Ronald Araujo situation. He renewed with us, but he has a release clause that's reasonable, which is 65 million euros. Any club can just buy the player if they want, and if Araujo wants to go, he'll go, right? So there was a report that came out that said that, you know, Musiala's release clause is going to be so low that any club would be able to get him if Musiala ever decides to leave, because Musiala wants flexibility in his brand new contract renewal. So there is no renewal yet with Musiala, but if there is, the release clause is going to look very similar to Ronald Araujo's, where he's going to be able to leave whenever he does want. There's not going to be a release clause of 200 million euros and make it impossible for a buying club to get the player, and Musiala is now stuck at Bayern. That's not going to happen. So we'll see what happens. I think that the one player Barcelona should go for is Musiala, because I want a front three of Musiala, Lewandowski, and Lamine Yamal next season. I do. You can say, Dani Olmo and Rafinha, what happened, bro? But it's just the beautiful thing about that is that any player can play in any position. So, like, if Lamine Yamal gets injured for whatever reason, move Dani Olmo to the right wing position, put Musiala on the center, and Rafinha on the left. You see how dynamic it looks? Or if Rafinha gets injured, okay, fine. Dani Olmo on the center, right? Musiala on the left, Lamine Yamal on the right, Lewandowski up top. If you want to have full-on cams like we did with the false line with Dani Olmo as the number 9, and Dani Olmo number 9 position, Musiala behind Dani Olmo on the number 10 position, Lamine Yamal on the right and Rafinha on the left. They can all play in those positions, bro. That's why I want that. I need that. Please. Maybe that might be a selfish thing, but I need that. So, but I just think it works. And I know Hansi Flick wants it, but like he's German and Musiala's German, but you know what I'm saying? So that's it. I'm not going to make this video too long. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.